Most e-commerce brands fail within the first few years, right? And it's not because they don't have great product, but it's because they don't adapt fast enough, right? 2025 is a completely different game, and if you're not applying the latest strategies for conversion and growth, your competitors will leave you behind. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the playbook that we use to help you dominate e-commerce in 2025. Firstly, I should probably introduce myself. I'm Luke, one of the co-founders of Formulr. We are a digital marketing agency who are designed to be replaced, right? We have over 600 pages of training documents and guides, so we can sort of train our clients along the way with the intention of replacing us at the end of our journey, so they don't just have to needlessly spend forever on agencies. If they want us to stick around, we're happy with that, but if we can educate and allow them to be free, then that is the ultimate goal. So yeah, with that being said, I do actually have like a free guide on everything that I'm going to talk about today available down below. It's comprehensive, mind you, so this might be a little bit quick in the video. Everything that I talk about will be spoken about in more detail in the guide, so do go check the description out down below. It's free, so you've got nothing to lose. But anyway, let's crack on. Okay, so why I'm making this video in particular, right, is because I want to identify the biggest problem in e-commerce, okay, and that is that there is very little loyalty. You might have a solid 30% customer retention rate, but that still means that 70% of your customers may never buy from you again, okay? And what makes things even harder is that acquiring new customers is getting more and more expensive, okay? Ads alone are not going to save you, and traditional customer acquisition models just aren't a sustainable strategy anymore. I throw in the kitchen sink ad spend on Meta or whatever. So what do you do? Well, to begin with, you need to ask yourself these two questions. And I say ask yourself these two questions. It's kind of like, do I take path A or do I take path B? Are you in the business of squeezing every dollar, penny, cent out of a customer's first purchase? Or are you willing to take a loss upfront because you know your repeat purchases will make you profitable in the long run? Okay, once you've answered that question, we'll go through the 3 essential skills of e-commerce growth, right? And you have to master these in this order: how to get customers, how to get customers to spend more, and how to get customers to buy again. That is all you need. So let's break down each of these, right? But before I go any further, I do just want to remind you that you can get our playbook. You get even more out of it. It will give you all the information you're looking for without having to sit and listen to this long-haired guy for the next 10-15 minutes or whatever. Okay, it's literally in the link down below. There's a little picture on screen as well right now of the sort of stuff that you can get from it. Anyway, again, let's crack on. So phase 1, introducing customers to your brand. Okay, whether you're a new e-commerce brand or you're a brand that's existed for 8 years, you need to master the skill of getting traffic to your site, right? It's not kind of a one and done thing. This can be broken down into 2 parts, right? Paid traffic, you know, either capturing demand through Google Ads or creating demand through Meta, and organic traffic using TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You get the gist, right? And in 2025, Meta is still the primary source of traffic for D2C brands. Okay, that has not changed. But I know what you're thinking, right? How do I crack Meta ads? And what's the media buying hack that is going to help me? The truth is that in 2025, it's all about making creatives at scale. Okay, that is the key to everything, creatives. And letting the metadata just do the targeting for you, right? This means you need to get good at producing and testing a range of creatives to find winners for your brand, right? So here are some creatives to get you started. They're going to pop up on screen right now, right? And we've got a full testing structure for you in the playbook, which obviously the link's in the description. I know I sound like a broken record, but if you do want to see a little bit more about how you test creatives, because like we say, the key here is to test creatives at scale, find out what is working, what's resonating with your audience, and what is converting. But the only way to do that is to absolutely churn creatives, right? A/B test, iterate, and just cut the losers and scale the winner. And then you've obviously got your organic content. You know, everyone knows organic content is one of the best ways to acquire customers because it technically costs nothing. You know, it's Also, just like running ads is great, right? But if you're not posting content on social media, you're just missing out on exponential growth rate. It's free, high leverage, and accessible to everyone. We always say this, right? You're one viral video away from being a 7-figure brand, even an 8-figure brand. So don't sleep on that opportunity, because it's literally there for everyone and it doesn't cost a penny. You know, in fact, creating organic content that people want to watch is one of the best ways to reduce your CPMs. 6 out of 10 Gen Zs check a brand's social before deciding to purchase. So take from that what you will. It is absolutely integral. So now you're probably thinking, well, how do I create killer content that converts? Okay, and to craft content that captures attention and drives sales, you need to follow this proven framework, right? And trust me, when I say it's proven, it is, right? You start with a hook. You start with an eye-catching visual. This can be, you've probably heard of this, a visual hook, an audio hook, like something that is going to grip the viewer within the first 2 to 3 seconds. So a compelling opening line that just immediately grabs your audience attention. It could be a bold statement, an intriguing question, or like I say, a visual hook, right? Then it's about retention, right? To deliver valuable, entertaining, or inspiring content that keeps viewers engaged, right? Whether it's storytelling, which by the way is a whole different video in itself, right? I'm not going to go into it, but storytelling, humor, education, your content should keep people watching, reading, or interacting. And lastly, reward, right? End with a strong call to action, discount, exclusive offer that entices viewers to take action, whether that's, from following your page to signing up for a newsletter, or whether it's trying to convince them to make a purchase. And look, right, I want to use a case study here. Let's look at Gymshark's multi-million-dollar social media strategy, okay? Gymshark has mastered organic content marketing by creating a community-driven brand that thrives on engagement, right? And here's how they do it. Influencer partnerships, right? They collaborate with fitness influencers in the space and athletes who embody their brand, okay? And it turns them into loyal advocates, right? Which invariably turns their audience into loyal advocates. Now, user-generated content, again, encouraging customers to share workout videos, transformations, while wearing, yeah, you guessed it, Gymshark clothing. It's super effective. Now, they also have behind the scenes and storytelling, where they share the brand journey, athlete stories, and real life fitness struggles, making their content like relatable and inspiring to some extent, right? It makes you feel part of something. And then the last is just kind of trendy interactive content. And I know using the word trendy makes me sound really old, but I'm not, I'm only 29. However, Gymshark stay ahead of the curve by leveraging viral trends, challenges, memes, and actively engaging with their audience through comments and DMs, right? So what we want to take from this is that by focusing on community building, storytelling, interactive content, Gymshark consistently drives millions in revenue through organic social media alone. There's nothing stopping you doing the same thing. Okay, so you've got traffic to your site, but now the goal is to optimize the consumer journey on your site and make them spend more. Okay, but remember, most visitors will not buy from you straight away. That's why you need to master collecting emails through pop-ups. Okay, most ecom brands pay very little attention to their pop-ups, and they underestimate the growth they can generate if it's done correctly. Studies show that 1 to 5% of visitors who are on your site are ready to buy, right? That means the rest are just gone forever unless you have a strategy or a way to bring them back. And this is where pop-ups come in, right? There are 2 types of pop-ups. You have an entry pop-up and you have an exit pop-up. And exit pop-ups are arguably more important because people are more likely to provide their email after spending a little bit of time on your site, rather than just, you've probably had it before. You land on a site, bang, first 2 seconds, give us your email. You're like, I have no idea what this brand is even about. And the last thing any of us want is another email address that is sending crap to our inbox, right? So keeping this in mind, let's have a look how we create high converting. Because it's true, not all pop-ups are created equal, right? If you want yours to actually grow your mailing list and drive sales, it needs to follow a proven formula like this one. Step 1, select your pop-up tool, right? We recommend Amped.io because it just works best with Shopify. But there are others such as MailerLite, ConvertFlow, WisePop. It's your choice. Step 2, have a clear value prop, right? No one will give you their email address for no reason. The best sort of incentives include things like discounts, first order or next order discounts, exclusivity, such as early access to our next drop or exclusive rewards. And then lastly, something like freebies, or personalized giveaways, in our case, guides, or gift offers. But yeah, these things are super effective, right? Step 3 is making sure that you select the right format for your pop-up. Okay, format depends on the incentive of your pop-up, really. General discounts or lead magnets, you would just have a single step pop-up. It's quick and simple and just gets people across the line. Quizzes, preferences, and something that are a bit more personalized, you would have multi-step. It's best for gathering data, right? Which leads me nicely on to step 4, which is collect the right data. The goal is to segment out your audience without making the pop-up overwhelming. The best approach is zero-party data, where users input their own details like demographics or interests and preferences and psychographics such as like buying behavior, right? But this is super important for segmenting out in the future. And lastly, step 5 is making sure that you're showing it at the right moment, right? Timing is absolutely everything when it comes to a pop-up. Adjust your pop-up based on things such as the traffic source. Where has this user come from? You can test all of this against the different traffic sources and things such as device type as well. Are they a mobile user? Are they a desktop user? How are they behaving? The different characteristics between those types of visitors, and user behavior such as using exit intent pop-up and second chance banners, right? So the whole point of this email capture is to push visitors who aren't ready to buy into your welcome flow. And that way you can mitigate their objections and anxieties long term through an effective email marketing strategy. But that, again, is for a previous video, which you can actually go and watch. We have a little bit on, and we do also have a guide on that, which you'll be able to download in the link in that description in that video. God, we got there in the end. Okay, so following on from getting your customers to spend more, right, you're also gonna have to ensure that your pages are optimized, right? We see this so often, right? Brands will have an incredible paid media strategy or an organic strategy, and they will send them to some, excuse my language, absolute shitbox of a website, right? And it's like all this upfront work that you're doing, and then people are getting to a website that is just not designed to convert people, right? And to do this, you need a well-structured landing page that shows benefits over features, right? Rather than saying, what something has, how's it gonna make people feel? What problem does this solve for them, okay? Urgency, right? Make them feel like they have to buy it now, rather than, let me think about that, maybe I'll buy that tomorrow. Have some sort of urgency there, right? And this kind of leads nicely into scarcity as well. You would have seen it on a website. You'll click maybe medium. You're looking for a jumper, you click medium. Oh, there's only one left in stock. Instantly you think, holy crap, I have to buy this now, because if it goes, I'll be gutted. You might not have been 100% sold on it until you saw that. And then all of a sudden, you're going to add that to your cart and you're going to check out, right? Another key one, possibly the most important one, social proof, right? Include names and pictures of people that are using the product or have used the product and they've shared a review of the product. This doesn't just mean reviews, by the way. This could be as simple as a feed of people sharing pictures with the product, like people if it's a clothing brand, sharing pictures of them in a jumper, for example. It's super effective. And the last one is objection handling. Any common doubts, concerns that your customers tend to have. And obviously this can be picked up through reviews, comments that are left on social, emails that your customer service team handle. You know, if you've had any returns or something, or when someone's purchased something, they're like, hey, like I bought this product, I couldn't quite figure out how to use this, or there are so many ways that you can pick up on this, and you can use all this data to actually handle people's objections on your website, just to really push them over the line, okay? And I think two unbelievable examples that you can look at here if you need any inspiration are AG1, sensational, right? And Hims. They display all of these principles throughout their site. So I would say, as a first port of call, just check through those two sites and just try and pick them up, and just think, how can I apply these techniques to my own website, right? So then actually getting them to spend more, right? There are two ways in which we do this. We have on-site and we have off-site, okay? So using mechanics such as recommended engines, you know, suggest a complementary product based on browsing history to increase basket size, or, you know, even it doesn't even have to be on that. It can simply be like, oh, other people have bought this, you know, other people who have bought this product also bought this one. I'm sure you've seen that a lot. It's all of the same milk, right? Bundles, this is a great one, right? Because this also increases your average order value exponentially. Offer discounted product bundles, right, to encourage larger purchases. It's an absolute no-brainer, and they've become so much more common over the last, I'd say, 5 years, and it's because how effective they are, right, for increasing those AOVs. The last one is shipping thresholds, right? If you're anything like me, I hate paying for shipping, right? And I'm so petty about this. I even hate paying the local takeaway like £2 to deliver food to me, okay? And it's all completely reasonable on their behalf. They've got bills to pay. But I hate it. If I can spend a little bit more to get it free, I will do it, because I think at least I'm getting more food, right? And the same applies when you're shopping online. If you provide a free shipping threshold for orders above 50, 60, 70, 100 pounds, there'll be a sweet spot specifically for your brand that you're going to have to find out. But it does incentivize more spending, because people hate paying for things that you don't technically get. You know, you don't get any benefit out of shipping the product. It feels like something that you shouldn't have to pay for. So yeah, this is a great way of improving your AOVs, and it will improve the profitability of your first order, so therefore the ROAS of your ad. We then have offsite, which you know, is things like post-purchase upsells. This is obviously why it's so integral to try and capture people's emails and get them to sign up to your mailing list, but offer exclusive deals or complimentary products immediately after checkout, right, to ensure that you're just maximizing order value. There are also things such as like loyalty schemes and VIP rewards, which are great for those that are a little bit more dedicated to the brand. And this is again why like an email marketing strategy is really important to this. Now we need to get our customers to buy again. They've bought once, we've made them spend more, but we need them to come back. Okay, now call me a broken record, but the best way to do this is through email, and I've been dropping this in throughout the video, and there are several core flows that you need to have in your e-commerce business. But I am not going through all that today, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little pop-up on the screen, right now. You can see it, right? And these are your core flows, okay? This is what you need, and the important thing is that you're hitting people at the right stage of the journey, right? You're sending the right message at the right time, and you're nurturing the relationship. But there's so much more to email marketing, right? I do want you to go and check out the video that we've done on it if it's something that you want to explore more, but it really is the final piece to this puzzle to ensuring that we get customers to come back, right? You've got people to your website, you're now converting them, and you've managed to increase their AOVs. Let's just get them back, okay? That is all I've got for you today. Head to the video that'll be somewhere on the screen, you can probably click. And yeah, if you did want to explore this a little bit further, you feel maybe it's not something you can do alone, then we'd love to help you out. The link to our website is down below, you can check it out. See if we're the guys for you. You can book a call with us. There's no obligation, it's not a sales pitch. It's just simply seeing whether we feel we can help you and whether you feel like we can help you, or even if you like us, because that is very important. But yeah, anyway, I'm rabbiting on now. We'll catch you later.